The 15th day of the month of April in the year 1865 marked a significant event just a week after the surrender of the commander of the Southern Army, Robert E. Lee. On this day, the northern newspapers were filled with the shocking headline, "President Shot." This referred to the assassination of President Abraham Lincoln in a theater, a piece of news that rapidly spread across the northern states, thanks to the expansive telegraph lines that connected them. In stark contrast, the southern states were left in the dark, primarily because their telegraph communication had been cut off during the course of the Civil War. This unfortunate situation provided an opportunity for an enterprising individual named James Cass Mason. He took advantage of the communication blackout to hurriedly deliver a shipment of newspaper press to the southern states, making his journey down the Mississippi River with great speed. James Cass Mason, a man in his early 30s, specifically 34 years old, was the captain of a civilian vessel known as the Sultana. This vessel was a sizable 80-foot steamboat, equipped with two side wheels that were powered by 4 steam boilers. The steamboat was typically utilized for regular passenger runs and also had the capacity to carry medium-sized cargoes. It was designed to comfortably accommodate 85 crew members and had the capacity to host 376 passengers in cabins, with an additional space for up to 400 passengers on deck. The Sultana was a well-constructed and comfortable vessel, which was only 2 years old in the year 1865. However, it encountered a problem near the town of Vicksburg, Mississippi, when one of the steamboat's boilers developed a leak. The chief engineer reported that fixing the leak would take more than 3 days. But while they were in Vicksburg, Captain Mason received an offer that he found impossible to turn down. The city's intendant proposed to pay nearly $3 for each enlisted soldier and $8 for each officer if the Sultana would agree to transport them back to their homeland. These men were northern prisoners of war who had recently been released from Confederate camps. Overjoyed at the prospect of returning home after surviving the war, they were willing to travel by any means necessary, regardless of the conditions of their transportation. Captain Mason, too, seemed unconcerned about the faulty boiler when he calculated the potential revenue. After all, there were more than 2,000 recently released prisoners in Vicksburg. The chief engineer was reassured that the necessary overhaul would be carried out, but only once the Sultana had reached its final destination, which was the city of St. Louis, Missouri. With this agreement in place, the Sultana welcomed on board all the available soldiers and officers. Including the crew and other passengers, the steamboat was now carrying approximately 2,400 passengers, 3 times its normal capacity. Every available space, including the decks, corridors, offices, and even the boiler and engine rooms, was filled with people. Despite the cramped conditions, Captain James Cass Mason seemed pleased. He was making money. The inevitable disaster struck the Sultana a few kilometers from Memphis, halfway between Vicksburg and St. Louis. It was the night of April 26th to 27th, and the steamboat was navigating a particularly challenging and winding section of the river. The steam engine was operating at full capacity when, around 2 o'clock, one of the boilers exploded due to the immense pressure, causing the other 2 to follow suit. The soldiers stationed nearby were killed instantly. The powerful explosion caused a portion of the decks to collapse and completely destroyed the wheelhouse. A raging fire broke out on the ship, accompanied by the sound of falling smokestacks. One of the stacks fell sideways, toppling the bulwark, while another fell along the steamboat, overturning the bridge and crushing the passengers who were sleeping on the deck. The now uncontrollable Sultana drifted along the river fairway as the surviving passengers jumped overboard and attempted to swim to shore. Half an hour after the explosion, sailors from the passing steamer Bostona initiated a rescue operation, which was later joined by warships and civilian vessels. The Sultana remained afloat for another hour before it sank to the bottom of the river with a distinctive hissing sound. Approximately 900 of the 2,500 passengers were rescued, 760 of whom required medical attention. Sadly, 70 of those rescued later succumbed to their wounds and burns. In total, around 1,600 soldiers who were eager to return home to their loved ones met their end due to the young captain's unquenchable thirst for profit. This death toll was even higher than that of the infamous Titanic disaster. That, my fellow history buffs, concludes today's journey into the past. If you enjoyed diving into the depths of history with us, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories from the past. Your support fuels our passion for uncovering the mysteries of bygone eras. Until next time, keep exploring, learning, and bringing history to life. Thanks for watching.